So we're coming over here by the high tunnel. We've gotten a bunch of gravel in here, and I'm just showing you this right here, but I'm going to show you what this is going to become soon. Here. Yeah, so thankful, huh? Okay guys, we're about to go into the cabin. I just want to show you this area on the porch here. So we'll talk about that in a minute, and then we're gonna go inside. They just leveled out the cabin for me, which is super awesome. So I am going to show you around what is left here, the skeleton of everything, and then I want to get you guys' opinions on things. So this is a skeleton. Up here they swept that all out, and then we put 4 mattresses. So there's 2 on here and then 2 on that side. And then I'm gonna come back over here. So this area, let me see, this area from here over is 7 by, like 7 wide by about, I forget what it was. I think it was half the cabin. I think it's like 7 by 14. So this area forward to, like this area is 7 and this way is 14. And then this same here. So 7 and then 14. So remember, we have all of these here. I had them put the mattress out here. I don't have any buckets or bins or anything in here as of yet. This is kind of what the top looks like here. I'm going to come around to the other side. This is what that wall looks like. And then we're going to go back out here. And so obviously I need to finish this wall. That's like a no-brainer. And then that's that space there. And then I'm just going to scoop around. So that was where the table was. And then over here, and then we had the wood stove there. Front window, door. And then I'm coming to over where the wood stove is and showing you the opposite wall. So I still have the hooks here. They were just cleaning out, so the trash is there. So I have the hooks here, and then that stuff there. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. Let me just sit down for a minute maybe and get some opinions. So I'm thinking, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about doing as far as this building goes, and it's going to be like various types of things. So one purpose that I'd like to have with this building, because it's here, is I would like it eventually to be when my children go and get married, if they wanted to come home, say they live far away and they wanted to come home for Christmas, that they would have like a space that they could go with their families, and that would be a blessing to their families, to be able to do that. I feel crooked. Where is my crookedness coming from? Okay, I think that's better. I don't know. If I'm crooked, I'm crooked. Sorry. So my idea is that they could come, and instead of having to stay like in the house, if they had kids of their own, they'd be able to come here and stay here, and they could spend as much time or as little time as they wanted in the house. But they would be able to come here if their children wanted to take naps or whatever. Like, it would be like their own space. I know that some of my younger children still want to come out here and camp sometimes, even though it's like here, right? So I'm thinking something along those lines. We also have friends that come up, and I would like to allow other people to come up, like put it out there as far as some larger families that I know, to be like, hey, if you ever want to come up in this area, we have this available for you. So those are the ideas that I have as far as long term. I think maybe I may possibly rent it out as a hip camp, but I'm not sure. That's like back burner. I don't need to do that. And it's not something that I necessarily am going to do. I don't know. It's just like things that are rumbling around in my head. So my thoughts is I'm not sure if I want to put like, obviously this is dry cabin right now. It's within like hose distance from our house, that we could run a hose over here. It is within distance. If we wanted to get electricity, that we could potentially in the future hook it up to the pole. Although I do know that that's going to cost quite a bit of money, because we tried to hook our high tunnel up to put the blower on, and that was going to be quite a few $1,000s. So I'm not sure. This is a project that's going to come bit by bit by bit by a bit. I also have 3 older daughters that are over 18 that are all working on independent businesses. So it might be an opportunity for this to be a quieter place for them to take on some of those things. So I need to figure out this space and how I'm going to work on this space and what I want it to look like and what I want like the feel of it to be. I think for now I'm gonna try to get we need to buy one piece. We bought all the pieces to the wood stove new at the store last year before we had rigged something up with some piping that the people had up there. The only piece that we had used was the wall through piece that wasn't ours, so I need to buy like a wall through kit. So I'm going to probably buy a wall through kit for over there and put the wood stove back, because it would be nice to be able to use this year round, even if it was just hey, let's change the pace and go out to the cabin for like an hour and let the kids run, even if it's just to change the pace midwinter. I like to be able to heat this space. So for now, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to debate if I want to like put an actual bathroom with composting toilet, or if I want to build like, have like the outhouse outside, but not have it an outhouse, have it as like a composting toilet outside in the outhouse, like behind the building. So give me your thoughts on that. That is a big thing that I'm not quite sure about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So the options is I could have like an outhouse behind the building itself, or to the side of the building. I'm thinking behind, just from the street, so it wasn't like right there, behind the building. Or I could possibly take part of this back section on the wall over here, this wall that way. Okay, I could possibly take a section of that and make that into a small bathroom. I don't really know how to do that, but hey, I am the type of person, I don't know how to do anything. I just learned how to do it, and I think that that's actually really good, because then I teach my kids that if they don't know how to do it, then they can learn how to do it. So a lot of times we learn how to do things together. So we could build a composting toilet type system, but in the cabin itself. So my concern with that would be is in such a small space, we've used a composting toilet before, and it doesn't really smell, but if you have a lot of people using the composting toilet, then it can get a little stinky. So I'm not sure if I actually want that in here, although I could look at different options on how that would go. Now, another thing is if you had something outside, we also have kind of like a camp potty that could come in here and maybe like draw a curtain or something across. Yeah, so bathroom, that's one thing that I really am thinking about. Another thing is how many spaces do I want for sleeping down and not in lofts? So I have this loft up there, and currently I have 4 mattresses up there. And then I have this loft over there. That spot up there is actually fairly tiny. I think it's 4 by 14. So it's a tiny space, but the boys used to go up there. So I don't know if like, I wouldn't actually plan that to be a sleeping space. I think that I would more plan that for like, people could shove their stuff up there. But I'll leave the ladder. I'm pretty sure I'll leave the ladder there so that like people could use it as storage or whatever. There is like an actual floor on it. Underneath the floor it has sheep's wool, so it's insulated under there. So yeah, I'm not really counting that as a sleeping space. But if I have the idea of like larger families, do I want to build on that back wall? Like I could technically, this is what I was thinking if we actually had this cabin up here before, would be to go from that corner over, and there would be a triple bunk there, and then coming this way along this wall, I would have a almost like a futon type style, and then have a loft above that, and then I would have had the futon here, so there would have been 2 futons, one of them having a loft over it here, and then the other one had the shelves here. That would have been like for our own like purpose or whatever. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do for actual bedding down here. Another thing is if I had this for other large families that maybe I knew or don't really know, and somebody was handicapped, I would want to be able to have like a space for that person that was handicapped, because that's one thing with my son who was disabled that we didn't actually, we couldn't go a lot of places because it wasn't handicap accessible. So we have a ramp, we have a portable ramp that can go on the front of this, and somebody could come in and out. Another thing is if I had a bed back here, maybe on one of the walls, I still have a lifting system, or I could get a Hoya lift or something like that. I still have like a lifting system that I could put like underneath there if I needed to. I'm not quite sure. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I do have like a portable potty like hospital potty that has 2 arms with like the toileting thing like underneath it. So I'm trying to figure out if I should like build it that way, or if I should just have it like you would be able to use, like somebody could sleep on like the futon. And then again, thinking like I probably am going to put that table back that I had here, because I built it especially for that space, and I really like that space, and it fit perfectly. And I do want to possibly get a propane stove. I think this is almost a definite for me, would be to get a propane stove. Look at this wall. So this is what I'm thinking. The wood stove is here, right? So I have the space here that I could put a stove, right? But then I kind of wonder, and then my table would be like under here. But then I kind of wonder, like I could potentially have a propane refrigerator in here, and I think that that would be a blessing to somebody. If they were coming to stay, they could put their food in the refrigerator. But then where would we put the refrigerator? Now these are like long-term goals, because I don't have thousands of dollars to buy a new stove and buy a new refrigerator and all this type of stuff. So understand that this is just like my bigger picture, thinking things through. And I'm asking you guys to help me think these things through so I can have a mental plan, so I can plan everything else around it. Got it? Okay. So those are my thoughts. Tell me what you think, and I'm going to show you all the way around again. So table's probably going to be going here. Wood stove probably, at least for a season, going there. And then there's this wall over here. I mean, maybe it's something that I take these off the wall and I could put a refrigerator here, but then I'd have to run 2 tanks, right? For propane. Unless I had a refrigerator here and a stove here, and then left this space over here for the wood stove, table, and possibly like a counter space like I had before, and then just kept this whole, that's where you'd put your shoes and stuff. You could have your fridge and stove next to it, and then couch. Or if I had the couch there. I don't know. These are things that I'm thinking through. So I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. Now I'm going to walk you outside and I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to show you kind of what I'm thinking. And I think there's 2 options for outside. So let me know what you think. Okay. We are very close to the road, but there is enough space here that we can park our full-size van and have space over there. So over here, we want to obviously clean this out nicely. So let's see. This would all get cleared out. This stuff would not be here. It would be all the way back to that fence there, would be there. So what I know it's going to be hard to hear me. What I'm kind of thinking is if I extended this fence here and cleaned this up a little bit, or even came out a little bit and came here and cleaned this out a little bit, and this could be like a yard for whoever was in the cabin, and then I would come from like maybe here, maybe a little further back, I'm not quite sure, somewhere in this area, and I would come over to, it would probably be around here. So I'm thinking if we ran that like straight across, it would come probably about 3 feet in here, and then we would have maybe a little gate like here, have a gate to open that we could go through. But then I don't like the idea, our whole front yard is actually fenced, because I don't like the idea, we're so close to this busy road. I don't like the idea of my younger kids just, oops, they happen to like go out that way. They're really good listeners, but I just, hold on, truck's coming by. and I think I just want some sort of fence. A couple years ago we had a tractor trailer that was driving down the road. All of us were outside, our kids were outside, and my friends, actually 2 families were up, and we were like standing there, and all of a sudden this tractor trailer totally went through, just missed our property, went across the field, and was taking the whole like telephone pole, telephone system all with them, and they almost crashed into my neighbor's house. So, especially since then, I want some sort of fence right here. Okay, so I'm thinking if I had a fence coming from the chicken thing here, coming straight, and then the other fence was like up here and came over, this would be a little bit, this section here would be a little bit of a yard. Obviously we need to clean it up, we don't want all those stumps and junk in there, but this would be like the yard for the cabin, and then there would be a gate over where I'm standing by the cabin to go into the cabin. So that's